Jesus, someone's here already. I thought, oh, well. Conan B, how's it going? Conan B, how's it going? Nice to see you here. There's 8 people here already. You must have been here before I actually started the chat. Okay. Oh. Okay, 9 people here. 9 people, 10. Matthew Snow. As the live stream started, it certainly has Matthew, yes. Now, how's the sound and how's the vision, by the way, anyway, okay? I'll turn the volume totally down on this this mobile this mobile because, you know, people, Facebook still keeps ringing. Okay, Dixie Normus, UK Best Gigolo. Is it you or me, mate? I think we've done that one, haven't we? Tony Edwards, yeah. Tinks 1463, is that the year you were born? That was just a couple of years before me. And Nomad Overseas, Evening Eddie, hope all is good. And you too, mate, and you too. Mr. Mitch, Eddie, nice to see you. Okay, nice to see you. Always good to hear from you, Mr. Mitch. I hope all is well. Ben McGrath, Steady Eddie, sounding good. Okay, that's good. Anyway, sound and vision, okay. Okay, we've really got it. Sound and vision, magnificent, okay. Jez James, okay. Hello, Eddie. Okay, we've done a few hellos anyway. Now, listen. Okay, I'm going to get down to the nitty-gritty, okay? The nitty-gritty. Right. Now, this week, there's been some great news this week. Absolutely magnificent news, but I'm going to leave that for a few seconds before I reveal the really great news, okay? Mark the Punter, nice to hear from you, Mark. Okay. Daniel Quigley, over 100 people watching it. Well, this is good anyway. I've had a really busy day because I still work. I got in 11, and I worked and got home late this evening and whatever, tired, but it's always good to be here. Sound is fine. Okay, Butter and Bunny. Hello, Butter and Bunny. Mike's chef. Yeah, okay. I still have crabs. Are you chopping them up properly? I'm sure they're very nice. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Alex Garland, Eddie, do you ever suffer from anxiety from drinking? Yeah. I don't need to drink to feel anxiety, mate. I get that anyway. Okay. Now listen. Okay. It's time. 3 minutes into this chat, loads of waffle, loads of hellos and all this kind of stuff. There's been some great news this week. Absolutely fantastic great news. And I'm really elated and excited about it, okay? And I'm going to reveal the great news. First of all, I need a drink, okay? Now, the great news this week is, brace yourselves, prepare yourself for this one. The great news this week is that at Asda this week, you can get a very nice 70 cl bottle of 3 Barrels brandy for the amazing super duper knockdown bargain price of £13.50. That has been the highlight of my week. 3 Barrels, I will rate it very highly. My beloved Scouser brandy seems to have disappeared off the planet. I can't see it in the shops. But at Asda, 3 Barrels, I would rate this highly. I would actually rate it somewhere in the league of Courvoisier, which is about twice the price. Hennessy, well, that's in a different league. I'd go bankrupt if I was drinking Hennessy every night. But nevertheless, the beautiful, exquisite 3 Barrels brandy, a 70 cl bottle, is £13.50 at Asda this week, and that is the great news of the week, okay? Should I also add that I seen a 70 cl bottle of Lamb's Navy rum for 14 quid. Yes, some great deals down at Asda, okay? So, we've got the good news out of the way with this week, okay? Now, what else is there? Now what else is there in the news this week, other than the fact that you can get a 70cl bottle of 3 Barrels brandy for £13.50 down at Asda. It's about a fiver off, okay? What else is there in the news? Oh, yes. There's that 3-month Thai visa, isn't there? That's been in the news this week as well. Okay. Let's talk about the 3-month Thai visa. Okay, well, it's all been in the news this week. The Tiger News, I think they've also got a YouTube channel, the Bangkok Post. Lots of people reporting this. Let's quickly run through this 3-month visa. And let me first of all mention that at this moment in time, I still have, aside from all the negativity, I still have my flight booked for Bangkok, from London to Bangkok, beginning in November. That's only about 6.5 weeks away. That is a 4-month ticket, beginning in November to beginning in March. It's still booked at this moment in time. It looked like all was lost, but then this comes out of the blue now, okay? This 3-month Thai visa. Now, what's this all about? Now, on the face of it, when you first hear this, it sounds bloody good. It sounds bloody good. 3-month Thai visa, okay? Thailand, presumably they're aware of the fact that, you know, many people who go on 2 or 3 weeks holidays are not going to be 2 or 3 weeks quarantine, because there's no point in them going. So really, they're trying to target the people who are going to stay there for a long period of time. And this visa that is being approved, it has been approved the last couple of days, but the full details haven't come out yet. This visa is for people who are going to stay there for 90 days or longer. And on the face of it, it looks very, very good. Not only can you stay there for 90 days, but you can renew the visa for twice, for a further 90 and a further 90 after that. A total of 270 days. Is that about 9 months? That's about 9 months. That is terrific. And the visa itself is at the very, very reasonable price of 2,000 baht each time, right? 2,000 baht. That's about 50 quid each time, which is a very, very reasonable price. Not as very, very reasonable as £13.50 for a bottle of 3 Barrels, but it's still a very reasonable price. Okay? Well, it sounds great. It sounds great. Apparently this is going to happen next month. The full details haven't come out yet, but it sounds good to me. So before we go any further, let's have a little look at the chat, okay? Okay, let's see now. Yeah, okay. Cheapest hotel is about £800 for quarantine. Is that for 2 weeks or whatever? Yeah. Bobby Crush, Eddie Sweeney ate my hamster. I did. I admit it. And I also ate your pet rabbit as well. So there. Okay. Thai insurance company. I work in IT. Strongly considering applying with that fees and working remotely for 9 months would mean starting work. It sounds great. It sounds right up my street, because I have a 4-month ticket. Okay. Now, for this particular year, this troubled year, I do not stay in one place for a long period of time. I tend to border hop. Anyone who's looked at my videos in the past knows that I'm a traveller. When I go on my travels, I'm a traveller. I do not stay in one place. I border hop. I start in, sporadically in Pattaya, Bangkok, and then I hop to Cambodia, Vietnam, back to Thailand, and maybe somewhere else. I border hop an awful lot. For this exceptional, I mean exceptionally bad year, this terrible trouble year, I think border hopping is out. It's not going to happen. I'm not going to be going to Thailand and then border hopping, getting a flight to Vietnam, having fun there, and then coming back to Thailand. That's not going to happen in this year, because you cannot hop through borders. It's far too complicated, and it just wouldn't be realistic. So to hell with that. But I have a 4-month ticket to Thailand. Would I be prepared to stay in Thailand for 4 months? I've never stayed in Thailand for that period of time. I don't think I've even stayed there for a period of a month, because, like I say, I border hop. I go back and forward to other places. But could I do a full 4 months in Thailand? Of course I could. Jesus. I tell you what, there's no rock solid facts around at this moment in time. except for one, okay? Only one rock solid fact is around right now. And that is the rock solid fact that I, Eddie Sweeney, do not want to be a miserable, dreary, rainy, depressing old United Kingdom this winter. I don't want to be here. That is a rock solid fact. I want to be in the sun. I want to be wearing shorts and t-shirts and drinking a cold beer in a hot climate. That's what I want to be doing. So that's the one rock solid fact. But other than that, nobody really knows anything. Let's have a little look at the chat. Anything else? Anything else? Okay. Okay. So about this, let's have a little look at this visa. What it's all about. Okay. Bintman, the condition of the visa is strictly no ladyboys. Well, I've heard that the medical tourists, the target. Okay. I don't talk about trolls. They're not what we're talking about. Okay. Let's have a little look. Okay. Andrew Johnson, there is a query about insurance, Eddie. They want you to take out their insurance, which looks expensive, when you went to Thailand. Well, there's more than a few. There's more than a few queries. More than a few, but yeah, it looks like that. It looks. I did see something like that. Apparently, they've approved this, but the finer details have not yet been presented. When are they going to come out? Well, it could be a couple of days. It could be a lot longer than that. But we'll see about that. But the insurance, yeah, it looks like they want to take out their insurance. Okay, well, yeah, that makes sense. Good to hear from you, Andrew. Anyway. Phil Roberts, are you not worried that you might get there, find out that it's crap with all the restrictions, etc., and then be stuck there for 3 or 4 months, like you nearly were back in March? I'm worried about a few things. When you say it's crap, mate, when you say that it would be crap, if I was there for 4 months, right, I wouldn't be staying in the one place. Or what? Wait a minute. If I'm going to be in Thailand, yeah, maybe I would. But no. When you say it's crap, I wouldn't be. What I meant to say is that I wouldn't be partying every single night throughout a 4-month period. Don't do that. Not at my age. Don't do that. Do it in bursts whenever I feel like, which maybe a couple of days, couple of nights, a week, and whatever. So the fact that a lot of the nightlife might have closed would be, a hindrance, but it wouldn't be as bad. I mean. As long as I'm in the hot sunshine with plenty of cold beer and can have a few delightful massages and that sort of stuff, I'd rather be there than in the UK this winter. So I wouldn't worry too much about that right now. Let's see. Get on that plane. Okay. No bingo for Eddie. No, I don't want to go to bingo. When you talk about 20-stone women, bingo wings. That's one of those phrases that bloody turns my stomach down. They say these women are bingo. Oh, God, don't even go there. Okay, Traveller P, you need that visa there without no border hopper. Okay, rock solid fact. China destroyed 20. Oh, well, no, that's it. That's the base. Okay. Let's see. Okay, if we tons of chats here. Okay, now what I'm going to do now is just read a little bit about this visa. You can read this. It's in that newspaper, the Tiger. It's not the final details or anything like that. It's not the final details, but it's basically okay. Where are we going? Let's have a look at this from the Bangkok Post. Okay. Bangkok Post, yesterday. Cabinet approves long-term tourist visas. Well, that's a good start, isn't it? I like it already. The Prime Minister said the Centre for COVID-19 Situation Administration would later elaborate on that matter. Deputy Governor spokeswoman, there we go. Trevor Jones, his name's Trevor Jones, okay. Deputy Government spokesman Trevor Jones said long stay visitors would have to present proof of payment for their long stay in the country. This could be payment for the hotel reservation or the lease of a condominium room, okay? Now, what are we going to say about this? It's a big commitment, this. If you offer that 3-month visa, we'll talk in a minute about how you get that 3-month visa. Not that I know it. But they want a lot of things from you. To get that 3-month visa, you've got to have their insurance. You've got to, obviously, got to pay the money. You've got to get your flight. Well, are the airport's going to be open then? Well, they must be accepting flights anyway. Otherwise, they wouldn't be doing this. But also, you've got to provide, you have got to agree to the 14-day quarantine in a state-registered hotel, okay? Now, I can't even begin to say how much that's going to cost you. But it doesn't have to be in Phuket. It could be in Bangkok, probably Bangkok, or maybe other parts, but probably Bangkok. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing, because I don't want to go to Phuket. I don't want to go there. So, basically, you've got to agree to the 14-day quarantine. Okay, that's fair enough. Now, for someone who's going out there for months, to stay in a hotel quarantine, some people still would not want to do that, and I can understand that. Personally, I would suffer that for 14 days. Personally, I would. And the COVID test. Now, how much is all this going to cost you? Well, they haven't put out the prices for that, but, you know, we'll see the finer details later on. But you have to stay in a quarantine hotel for 14 days to begin with, okay? Now, not only that, but where are you going to be staying for those 3 months? Well, 2 weeks in a quarantine hotel for the rest of those three months. Where are you going to be staying? Well, you have to provide proof of that. Either you are going to stay in a hotel long term, and you have to show them at least a deposit for that hotel or that condominium that you were going to rent out for that 3-month period. You have to provide evidence of where you're going to be staying during that period of time. Now, I'm not quite sure of this. Is this going to be just one place, or is it going to be provide evidence? You may decide to stay in 3 locations in Thailand. Let's just say 3. And, you know, are you going to provide evidence of the 3 places? Are you going to be paying deposits for all of this? They don't want to see the full amount. They want to know that you've got enough funds in order to stay out there for 3 months, because I'm pretty sure that a lot of people haven't. So they want to see evidence of all of that. I mean, personally, let's say, for example, if I was going out there for 4 months, bearing in mind I would have to renew that visa after 3 months, which is a reasonably price, you know, about 50 quid a time. That's reasonably enough. Not complaining about that. But if I was, say, staying in one place for 4 months, which is something I've never done in Thailand, and I was to rent a condo for 4 months, would I have to pay in advance for that, you know, for those 4 months, or maybe the deposit? You'd have to show them some form of commitment, the Thai authorities, some form of commitment. And I wouldn't be surprised if you'd have to show them some bank statements. They want to know that if you're out there for that length of time, you can afford to be out there for that length of time. And they want to know exactly where you're going to stay, okay? Which is a big commitment. It's a big commitment. You've got to be guaranteed that everything's going to go hunky-dory before you make an expensive commitment like that. So the target is to welcome 100 to 300 visitors a week, or up to 1,200 people a month, and generate an income of about 1 billion baht a month. Okay, she said. Oh, she said this. She, not he. Like, oh, excuse me. I don't mean to cause offence. When I read out the name, I hope she's watching this. Deputy Governor spokeswoman. Yeah, it's a woman, and you know, it's Trisoli, Trevi, whatever. And I said Trevi. It was just a joke. Just a joke. Really, joke. I'm sure she's. Her real name is not Trevor Jones. What was her real name? Her real name is. It's Teresa Jones. Okay, I can't pronounce her name. Okay, the target is to welcome 1,200 people a month and generate an income of about 1 billion baht a month. He said. Okay, now this seems fine and dandy. Okay, you can understand that. Thailand's economy is not good right now. They're losing a lot of money. They're suffering badly because of, you know, the lack of tourists. They've still got a few domestic tourists, but they need those international tourism. But this is where all the figures get a bit bizarre, okay? Get a bit bizarre. And this is the bit that really disturbs me. The target to welcome 100 to 300 visitors a week, up to 1,200 people. That is sod all. That's nothing. 1,200 people a month, okay? 1,200 people a month. That is a very, very, very small figure. It's sod all. It's nothing. Thailand is one of the most visited tourist countries in the world. I think it's probably the most visited tourist country in Southeast Asia. Bangkok is one of the most visited cities in the world. Some people say it's the most visited city in the world. 1,200 tourists a month. That's a very, very, very low figure, that is. That's about 40 a day. 40 a day. Do you really think of 40 tourists a day are going to make much difference to the struggling Thai economy? Not really. Okay, I mean, you may say, okay, yeah, but this is for 3 months, for people staying there for 3 months or longer. It's ostracizing, very, very sadly to say this, but it's ostracizing the 2-week millionaires and all of this. But even so, for people who stay 3 months or longer, I'm pretty damn sure there's more than 40 a day who arrive at Bangkok airport. Jesus Christ, that's 1,200 visitors a month is a very, very small figure, very small. And the purpose of these 1,200 people a month is to generate an income of 1 billion baht a month to aid the struggling Thai tourist industry. 1 billion baht a month. How much is that? I think at a glance, I worked this out before. I think you could correct me on this, but I think it's about 32 million US dollars, which is about roughly about 25 million pounds a month that these tourists would hopefully bring in. 25 million pounds a month, 32 million US dollars a month. It's small. That's a very, very small. Is that really? It's a start, but it's pretty small. It's pretty small. Thailand's one of the main tourist destinations in the world. I mean, it's small potatoes. Let me just, before I babble on anymore, okay, let's just check the chat. Okay, let's have a little look at the chat. Okay. Oh, okay. One more. One more. Probably be a lot more than one more, mate, before this night's finished. 3 barrels, I would rate that quite highly. There we go. Okay, let's have a look. Let's see. Zach David. Some people have wonderful names, don't they? Zach, that's a bloody cool name. Cool name now. 1,200 people a month, and countries allowed to be decided by Thai medical authorities. Yeah. Okay, come on. There's lots more chat on that. Let's see. I hear 20 stone time. Yeah, or whatever. Let's see. Okay. Thailand bound. Nice to see you there, Thailand bound. How are you, mate? Okay. Queen Elizabeth, forever hero. Yes, she's going to outlive me. She is. Okay, let's have a little look. Okay, a little look at okay, whatever. Plenty more. I'm not up to date with the chats. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to waffle on. A little bit more, okay? The 90-day special tourist visa could be extended twice for 90 days each time. This is great. I mean, that is great. If, on the face value of it, if they could do that all the time, the Thai visa, that's brilliant. Stops people having to border hop and, go to a place that they don't want to go to for a couple of days. There was some border town in Cambodia or Laos. Absolutely. So what else have we got here? Well, it's, I think at the face value of it, it seems pretty good. it seems pretty good, and I would like to, and it certainly seems a lot better than that Phuket idea, which seems to be a bit of a balmy idea. That Phuket idea, I'm not really sure who that's going to appeal to. I'm sure most people who go to Phuket don't go there for a particularly long period of time. It probably appeals to honeymoon couples. That sort of thing. But it's it's probably better than the Phuket idea, but it's not really to get excited about it. And the reason that I'm not really getting excited about it is simply because that it is not tangible. Well, let me give you the comparison, right? My £13.50 bottle of 3 barrels brandy from Asda this week, I'm quite excited about that when I seen it on the shelf for £13.50, about a fiver off, okay? Quite excited about that. And the reason I am is because it is tangible. I can hold it up in my hand. I can hold this exciting offer in my hand right now, okay? It's a tangible thing to get excited about. This 3-month visa isn't tangible. There's so many questions about it. It promises a lot, but it doesn't seem to be, when you look into it, it doesn't seem to be delivering a great deal. There's too many question marks about it. Okay, let's have a little look at the chat. Richard, there's so people need 40 a day and there's more than just one. So, okay, yeah, okay, fine and dandy. Life of Ray's a lot of negative people in this chat. Well, I'm negative. I'm bloody negative. Nick Dean, those rules are ridiculous. Everyone must spend 2,000. So, okay, let's talk about who these 1,200 people are. These projected 1,200 people who are going to come into Thailand each month. Bearing in mind that 1,200 people going to a country like Thailand is a very, very small amount. It's very, very, very small amount, 40 a day, okay? Well, these people are from countries, that have been invited there, from countries which have got low risk of this dreaded illness, this COVID. Countries like Taiwan, for example, maybe a few other Asian countries, maybe even China. Don't want to say no more about that. Nothing against China, but whatever. But who won't be invited here? The reason I'm not getting too excited is because, I think that countries like the UK and America and Australia may not be invited to be amongst these 1,200. Australia is still very, very much in lockdown. Sadly, they can't go anywhere, and my hearts are with you people. America, the COVID is fairly, it's rising there. It's fairly dreadful. In the UK, it looked like it was getting better for a while. But the fact is that, the word on the street in the UK, and I meet a lot of people in my daily life here. The word on the street in the UK is that we're in for the second wave. The COVID hasn't gone away. You're hearing cases of the numbers going up in certain places. Certain parts of the United Kingdom are in lockdown. We're not out of the woods yet, not by a long way. In fact, it is going backwards. And we may go. We may. It's not. I don't think we will go back into lockdown. I don't think we will. It's going to be that bad. But there will be a second wave here. And basically, with regards to Thailand issuing this visa for people, they want to issue it to countries which have got zero COVID. Well, that marks us out to begin with. It marks America out, Australia, Britain. It marks us out. I can't see how we're going to get around that hurdle. In the United Kingdom, we still have it here. We still have cases here. Cases are rising. So are they really going to let us in? So I'm not getting excited because, this bloody COVID, this COVID isn't going to go away. Okay, Phil Roberts, the numbers make me think they're back to targeting elite luxury travellers rather than cheap Charlies like me. Promising first step, though. It's a first step. But, at this point, should we just say, is this any better than that Phuket idea? That Phuket idea seemed like a start. It seemed like not necessarily a good idea, but it seemed like something. But this seems to be a better idea, and there's a lot of good things. We haven't seen the full details of it yet, but it's there's so many questions about it. And like I say, I think the one big question of it is us Westerners, Americans watching this, maybe Australians, us British people, are we going to be included in that 1,200 people? Are we going to be given a visa? Well, it doesn't look like it to me. It doesn't look like it to me. We are not COVID-free countries. We're not. Not likely to be for quite a while. Son for Liberty 12. I believe Paris is the most visited city in the world. Okay, I'll just say I'll only say a couple of things about Paris, right? I'll only say a couple of things about Paris. First of all, Paris, the Eiffel Tower, is one of those tourist attractions in the world that really, really, really does live up to expectations. I mean, Jesus, I went up to the second level. You got a view over the skyline. Like I went there on a lovely day, and first, Notre Dame and all that. Fantastic. And the second thing that I'll say about Paris is that Brigitte Bardot was magnificent. Anyone who had a liaison with Brigitte Bardot in her day was a jammy bastard. She's still one of the most beautiful women in the world, okay? So let me see. Well, Shadow, 32, Well, Shadow's just quoted something, 32 million something US dollars. That's about 25 million pounds. In terms of tourism per month, that is not a lot of money. It's not a lot of money. It's not a lot of money. Some say it's vaccine ready in 3 weeks, so we'll have one here by April. BG, I think 90% of people don't spend more than £1,000 in 2 weeks. Well, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. There's a huge difference, a massive difference in what people spend. Some people spend a tiny amount, a very frugal amount, and some people spend a whopping big amount, okay? So let me have a look. Let me have a look at this. So, there's a, I keep going back to this, and I'll probably mention it again, this very, very small amount of people, 1,200 a month. How do you get this visa? Well, we don't know the final details yet, but I think it has to be, I read somewhere that it has to be embassy approved. So you have to get in touch with the Thai embassy, do you? Well, how do you do that? I mean, I don't live in London. I have been to London before to get a visa. I've done it a couple of times, one for India and one for Vietnam. It's a bit of hassle, but I'd put up with that hassle. As for phoning the embassy, it's try it. It's bloody difficult. Okay, so I wouldn't rush into this. I don't want to seem doom and gloom, but I wouldn't rush into this thing just yet because there's too many question marks. We've seen the first approval of it, but I actually think at the first glance it looks like this is a real breakthrough. This is going to happen. And then when you look into these, I think it's actually quite a small idea. It's not a major breakthrough. It's actually a small one. The way the Phuket was, it's an idea that will not appeal to most people. So it's a little waffle on. See what else we've got here. Made a couple of notes for this. Made a couple of notes. Yeah, the one thing is the Thais can't rely on domestic tourism. This is a dreadful year, and there's going to be terrible hardships. There's going to be millions of unemployed throughout the world, probably in Britain and in Thailand and many other countries because of this COVID thing. I read somewhere the other day that Thailand had a little bit of a boom over the 4-day holiday period with domestic tourists, obviously. And it was so good, I think they're thinking of having another one. The fact is that sooner or later they're going to realize they can't rely on domestic tourists. They need those international tourists. They're the ones who bring in the big bucks. You hear various things about this. Various figures. I've heard 60 billion US dollars a year. I've heard 80 billion US dollars a year. Depending on which one. Let's just say international tourism brings in a lot of money. And without those international tourists, Thailand is going to suffer big time this year. There's going to be a lot of hardship. There's going to be a lot of poverty out there. There may even be a fair bit of crime. I mean, that's not something you consider with Thailand, but I've heard reports that even crime, pickpocketing and beyond is going up there. Okay, let's have a little glance at this. So anyway, let's have a little look at the chat. Okay. There you go. We get a little bit of a debate now because I heard that Bangkok is the most visited city in the world. Now, someone said Paris is the most visited city in the world. Someone here said Bangkok is number 2, Hong Kong is number 1. Okay, keep it going. Yeah, keep it going. Okay, keep it going. Keep it going, and before you know it, so someone's going to say that Bognor Regis is the most visited city in the world. You just keep it going. London is 3rd most visited city in the world. Okay. London, like Blackpool, it's a great place to visit, not a good place to live in. I've done both. Ernest can't go to another country. Never been to Phuket. Phuket was great in its day. Let's see. Rip-off rates. Bangla Road is dead. That's in Phuket, isn't it? I mean, a lot of places are bloody dead, mate. A lot of places are dead. Tourism areas need tourists. That's what they need. Okay, Redmondo, yeah, whatever. Stay frosty. Edward Sweeney, the 2-week millionaires are the ones that fuel the economy, not 3-month penny pinchers living in hostels and eating food from 7-Eleven. Yeah, you're right. You are right there, mate. I've made a couple of videos in the past about how much it would cost to stay for a couple of weeks in Pattaya. And the first one I mentioned about the mid-range people. The mid-range people. Nobody really knows how much. It's down to the individual. But you can still have a reasonably priced holiday in Pattaya for 2 weeks. That's assuming that we can go there again. You have a reasonably priced holiday there. But then there's some people who don't want a reasonably priced holiday. There are some people who, work their fingers to the bone all year and may only have a couple of weeks holiday. And during that couple of weeks, they really want to give it their all. They really want to let rip. They really, really want to live like a rock star. They put the hard work in. They've earned the money. They want to really let it go for a couple of weeks. And they will spend not a small amount. They will spend a mega amount. They will act like a 2-week millionaire. Some of them will spend a small fortune every day, living like a rock star for 2 months. Good luck to them. They've earned the right to do that. I mean, Thailand is going to, and all of those countries, they're going to miss out on that. They're really, really going to miss out on all of that. Let's see. Mancunian, you ain't going nowhere this year. Fact, okay? Okay, you say so. It's going to be expensive and nothing is being finalised. Stuart Ritchie, it's going to be expensive and nothing is being finalised, okay? Yeah, well, okay. Yeah, I'll go along with that. Chris Scott, Eddie, get over it. Do your 2 weeks quarantine, then travel within the kingdom, okay? Well, that would be the plan. I'd go along with that. As you know, if you watch my videos, I tend to border up I've always done that. I don't even think about it. I just do it. But the idea of staying even in the one place, providing it was a good place, like Pattaya, for example, yeah, for 4 months, maybe renting a condo for 4 months, I could go along with that. I could do that. I'm getting a bit old to be getting up and traveling all the time and all of that. I'd quite happily stay in one place for 4 months, staying in a condo for 4 months. It'd be interesting to make some good videos, how good value something like that could be. But like I say, this particular idea, it's, I don't know. I'm not so sure about it. Walking ATM. Cowboy Vic, UK on blacklist for 90 days, okay? Andy Johnson, we will have to wait until everything is clear. The thing, absolutely, Andy. I mean, the thing is, if you're going to make a major commitment and booking your flight, paying for this visa, which visa seems reasonably priced, this whole setup of that seems really, really good. But paying for your accommodation maybe up front, to make a big commitment like this, you want to know exactly where you are. If you're going to pay big money, you want to pay it in the knowledge that it's secure, it's safe, there's no hiccups, there's no hindrances, nothing bad is going to happen to it. And right now, it seems a little bit unsure this is, but I think the big stumbler block will be us Western countries, you know, UK, America, Australia, New Zealand. I just don't think we're going to be invited. I really, amongst these poxy 1,200 a month, this small figure, this small number of people, I don't think they're going to invite us. Hopefully I'm wrong, but I'm not getting excited about it. You know, if they're saying that they want COVID-free countries, well, that doesn't include us. Yeah, okay. Who doesn't spend much money? India won't be invited. Well, you know, join the club. UK won't be invited either. It's minority. It's appealing to a minority of people. It is appealing to a minority of people. The way the Phuket idea appealed to a minority of people. At the first glance, it seemed like a breakthrough. But then when you look further into it, it doesn't really seem like a breakthrough. It seemed like a start of something, but this is just such a bloody awful year. Not, you know, nothing, you know, nothing is what it should be. Well, Shadow, Prince Andrew won't be invited there either. It's, well, I don't know, he's got enough money. I wouldn't count on that, mate. You know, I wouldn't count on him. He may abscond to there, you know. Okay, won't go into that. BGA, with that kind of money, I'd rather buy a luxury car that I can ride every day for years. Yeah, okay, yeah, sure, and pay all your thousands of pounds of mechanics bills and your insurance and all that kind of stuff as well. I'd rather travel personally. I'm going to sell both my kidneys. Thailand was yesterday. Mexico. It was that. Whatever. Richard, what if you want to only go for 30 or 60 days? This is a 90-day visa, and I think, as I'm reading it, you've got to prove that you're going to be there for at least 90 days. They want people who are going to spend spend money out there for a period of time. So I think maybe you have to prove that. We haven't seen the finer details of it, but I think you know, you've got to prove that you're going to be out there. As in, when I say prove, as in showing the receipts to prove that you've actually hired a condo or whatever you're going to, a hotel or whatever you're going to hire for that amount of time. Sure, more. I think there will be a chartered Thai Airway flight from London as part of this. Makes sense with the returnee flight coming back from Bangkok to whatever. Walking ATM. Most people from Taiwan will still be allowed. Really, did Taiwanese people go to Thailand? I went to Taiwan last year, and it was nice. It was interesting. Maybe I've seen a little bit more of it, but you know, not the most exciting place. And okay, so Taiwanese people will be invited to Thailand. Maybe they'll go there for all the excitement that they can't get in Taiwan. Okay, what's today's on the chat anyway? Okay, so you know, anyone, what do you think of this? I've already said that I think it's a little bit of a small idea. This it seemed at first that it's a breakthrough. It's yeah, you know, this is the 3 month visa. let me mention first of all the people who go to this part of the world for a couple of weeks or a month. It's sad that it won't include you. You know, the 2 week millionaires. It's only targeting a certain number of people, the ones who do go out there for months. And it would suit me. I would offer this if this was cut and dried. If it was, you know, with my 4 month ticket, which I still have. If it was cut and dried and I could pay for my hotel or condo, even stay in the one place, providing it was a place which had all the entertainment, then I'd offer that. And I think, you know, I'd offer it. I'd sign up for it tomorrow. But I don't think it is cut and dried. And, you know, there's too many question marks about it. Richard, I would not want to stay there for 90 days. I wouldn't say no. Well, I wouldn't say no. Even I mean, no one's pretending that you know, Thailand or any country is going to be saying this year is what you remember it. You know, it's not going to be the same. You're going to see, rather than see the buzz and excitement of somewhere like Pattaya, you're going to see a lot of bars closed, and it's going to feel a little bit depressing at times. But you're not going to go on all of those bars anyway. You don't anyway. You know, anytime you go to somewhere like Pattaya, you're only going to go in a handful of those bars. And there will still be some busy bars. It's a tough year right now. Nobody really knows any facts. But you know, I'd offer it because at the end of the day, you'll still have the weather out there, and that's something that you're not going to have in the UK this winter time. Anthony Cavalier, Thailand will run credit reports on the applicants, and only people with six-figure bank accounts will be considered for the 1,200 visas. Good for you, Anthony. Yeah, that's a very good comment. Very good comment. And I think you're probably right there. Wouldn't be surprised if you're right there. Richard, is the Philippines open? No. I know someone who's been out in the Philippines since February. Can't get back. Can't get back. But Bunny, so many places in Thailand to visit in 90 days. Cheap travel too within the country. So many places in Thailand to visit in 90 days. Cheap travel too within the country. Well, it is cheap to travel around Thailand. It depends on what you do, really. I mean, flights are reasonably priced. Yeah, not that I've taken that many of them. I tend to go from Bangkok to Pattaya in recent years. I did a train from Chiang Mai to Bangkok, which is reasonably priced. It's not everybody's preferred choice of travel, but whatever. If I was stuck in Thailand for 4 months, I wouldn't be complaining. I wouldn't be complaining. There's plenty to do there. Bodhisattva, Cambodia should open up and take all the tourists, right? Cambodia, I've seen in the reports this week that Cambodia is actually open now. It is actually open now. There's a few things that, you know, we know it's disappointing about Cambodia right now at this moment in time. Firstly, there's that bloody awful $3,000 deposit that you have to pay either by cash or credit card when you arrive at the airport, and they put you up in this hotel and you have to stay there, and you know, and you have to stay there for a couple of weeks, and all the costs will be deducted from that three. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money to stump up, and I don't think anyone's really enthusiastic about that. The other thing about Cambodia, as far as I know, is you know, it's suffering badly. Is after stumping up that. Cambodia is not as easy to get to as Thailand. If you're coming internationally, you probably go via Bangkok and get a connecting flight. I don't know if that's working in this day and age right now at this moment in time. But another thing that about Cambodia, it's not the country it used to be, because you don't really have Sihanoukville anymore. You have Siam Reap, and I've seen some videos which look fairly depressed about Siam Reap right now. They're going to suffer big time with the lack of tourists. Phnom Penh, which is a city, there's always going to be things happening there. But I've heard that a lot of those riverside bars are closed. But Sihanoukville, the beach resort, that was a great place to go in Cambodia. You're not going to have that anymore, because that is now a Chinese casino stroke building site by the sea. Michael Worthington, it's $2,000 for now for Cambodia. Now I've heard that twice, both times in this chat from different people. I read it the other day that it's still 3,000, but if you're saying it's 2,000 US dollars now deposit, it's still quite a lot of money. But then again, maybe maybe it's not that much difference than Thailand, Okay. Andrew Johnson, Phnom Penh, yes, great place. Yeah, I had some wonderful times in Phnom Penh, fantastic times in Phnom Penh. I got to love that city over the years. What I loved about Phnom Penh, it was a very uncapital-like city. It was surprisingly laid-back city. When I first arrived there, I heard bad reports about it. But, I planned to stay there for a couple of days, visit a couple of attractions like the Killing Fields and whatever. But I ended up staying there for a week and then I went back again. I stayed, for months at a time. Wonderful, absolutely fantastic place, Phnom Penh. But it's not everyone's cup of tea. Some people hate the place. Even people who live in Cambodia, maybe Siem Reap, don't like Phnom Penh. It's an acquired taste. Well, Samuel Hudson, what about Bulgaria, Eddie? Great ladies, okay? Bulgaria, yeah, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful ladies in Bulgaria. Well, one thing about Bulgaria, it does not have winter sunshine, that's for sure. I once went there in the month of September, and I was unlucky, really, because September should be a good month, but it was raining all the time there. But when you say the Bulgarian girls are the most underrated beauties in the world. They are so lean, and they wear tight leggings, and they have lovely curves. They don't have an ounce of fat on their body. They are so lean and beautiful, absolutely. But I found that was a little bit frustrating. That one I found it was a bit frustrating because. I found it a little bit frustrating because it was not really geared up for travellers when I went there. I took a train from Sofia all the way to Varna on the Black Sea coast. And I thought it was a little bit frustrating. I thought somewhere like Vietnam was more geared up for travellers than somewhere like Bulgaria. Bulgaria seemed a little bit backward when I went there. That was I think it was about 15 years ago. Andrew Johnson, thanks for that, mate. I really appreciate that anyway. Really do appreciate that. Really do. It's always great to hear from you, mate. And we'll always keep in touch, Andrew. I know that you were disappointed earlier this year because the travels fell through because of this terrible situation. Well, it's dreadful. We all want to get somewhere. Your description of Phnom Penh reminds me of Saigon in the early 90s. I love Phnom Penh. I love Phnom Penh. Some great people there. Terrific. Really won me over when I first went there. It's all good. Love playing where the sun don't shine anyway, mate. Prague, DJ23, Prague has a lot of hotties. Czech girls are absolutely beautiful, as everyone knows. They are really beautiful. But I don't really trust. I've been to Prague. I actually once went there in the winter. It was around Christmas time I went there. But I tend to find those places a little bit hostile, hostile, but not in a hostile way, but they're not, you don't fall into them. I can turn up in Thailand or Cambodia with the hot sunshine and the friendliness and the smiles, and I can plonk myself down in a pavement cafe, and you just fall into those countries. That's the right phrase. You fall into them. Somewhere like Prague, I don't think you fall into that place at all. I mean, there's a lot of things about those kind of Central European and Eastern European countries that I find very, very untrustworthy. I'm always afraid that I'll wander into the wrong tourist trap and be stung for bloody thousands of pounds or whatever. And these things do happen. So I know there's a lot of hotties, beautiful. What I always say is that there is one European city where, which is really, really straight, where they're straight with you. Well, for the most part, not 100% straight, but, where, things are very, very liberal and, you can really live it up without, you know, being ripped off for you know, vast amounts of money. And that place is Amsterdam. You know, what I always say is that, you know, if you want to meet up with a beautiful Bulgarian lady or a Romanian lady or a Czech lady or a Ukrainian lady, you don't need to go to those countries. Go to Amsterdam. That's the best place to meet all those ladies. And, you know, I love Amsterdam. Love Amsterdam. Brilliant. How's Amsterdam doing these days? Well, I don't know. You know, I don't know. Been there many, many times. Love Amsterdam. Germany's good. Yes, Germany's good. Going next month, hopefully. Germany's bloody good. I like Germany. I like Germans. I like Germans. Hey, let me mention something. Today is the 80th anniversary of the Battle of Britain. That is when that nasty, you know, that nasty man with the funny moustache thought, we're going to have them. We're going to have them. They sent all their airplanes to Britain, thinking, this is it, we're going to storm them, we're going to storm them. But our brave, wonderful Royal Air Force fought them off and sent them packing. Today is the 80th anniversary of the Battle of Britain, a monumental event. Let us raise a glass to the 80th anniversary of the Battle of Britain. As the great Mr. Churchill himself said, never in the field of human conflict has so much been owed by so many to so few. Wonderful. Raise a glass to the Battle of Britain and never forget that if it wasn't for Mr. Churchill and his determination to fight off the Hun, we in the UK, in fact, me doing this live stream, might be doing it in German at this very moment, okay? And you wouldn't want that, would you? Jesus, a bloody Scouse accent is bad enough. Okay. Okay, Tom T, really appreciate that comment. Someone else sent me a super chat. Who was that? Who was that? Who sent me a super chat? Somebody did. Thanks, whoever that was. Thanks, whoever that was. Appreciate that. Ray Shaw, hi Eddie. What do you think about Nepal or Mongolia? I think that I haven't been to either of them. I've had great reports about Nepal. Really terrific reports about Nepal. That's one of the great traveller destinations. I think the reason why I've never been to Nepal is simply because it's cold in the winter. I travelled during the UK winter to hot climates, you know, like Southeast Asia or South America. You know, and I like to spend the winter in shorts and t-shirts. I've done that for many, many years. Nepal, well, it's going to be cold in the winter time. I wouldn't entirely rule that out the question, but I think that's one of the ones that's out of bounds to British people right now. DJ23, are you going to boo for the 90 days then, Eddie? Look, let's get to the point of this. The point is that if you're going to book anything, if you're going to spend your money, commit to your money, large sums of money in the case of the accommodation and all of that, then you want to know exactly where you are. You don't want vagueness. You don't want to know what's this all about, what's that all about. You want to know exactly where you are. And right now with this 3-month visa, I don't think we really know where we are. But I don't, well, we'll see. At first it looked really good. Some people are a bit excited about it. But, you know, like I've explained to you, I'm not excited about my bargain basement 3 barrels brandy, because at least I can hold this up in my hand. You know, at least it's tangible, you know. Richard Bond, yes, okay. Very great. Okay, let's have a little glance at the chat for a minute. Well, let's see. Tony and Dart, okay? Tony and Dart, mate, there are so many ifs and buts about it. I would just hold on and look to be January next year. There is absolutely nothing happening in Thailand at the moment, mate. Okay, you know, if you're going to be traveling, you want something solid. Solid is the word, okay? Tangible is another good word. And this, this 3-month visa right now, it seems like small beer, really. It sounded good, but then when you read into the, 1 billion baht a month, that's not really a lot of money. 1,200 people a month, that's not really a lot of people. It's small beer. Let's just see how it develops. Okay. Okay. Joe Sweden's big flabby belly. I like black men. Well, good for you. You like what you like, okay? You like what you like, good for you. Okay. Never in the field of human conflict. So oh yeah, okay. Richard Bang, that's a great comment. Fantastic. Chloe, what colour? Okay. Okay. Yo, Sowers, get on adult work. Loads of girls in Liverpool, okay? Really? It'd be a long way to bloody travel because I haven't lived in Liverpool for over 30 years. I don't know where I got this stupid accent from. Andrew Johnson should have a clearer picture next week as it's supposed to happen from 15th of October. Well, yeah, let's see. We want to, at the end of the day, I mean, I can always change my flight. I can always put it back for a couple of months, but I don't like vagueness. I don't like, this idea that I want to know absolutely rock solid where I stand. And, it really, I don't think this is a great idea. It just doesn't look like it to me. Okay. What's this? Richard, plenty of online live betting sites popping up in Thailand. Well, my thoughts are with the Thai people and all the people in Cambodia and Vietnam, the ordinary people, the people who live off tourism, the people who want to work because they're going to be denied the opportunity to work. They're going to have no job. They're going to have no job. My thoughts are with them, really. Mick Thomas, you have a lovely accent, Eddie. Thank you. Whatever. You better say, what's that? Who's found what at a charity shop? Jeez, I think the way things are going, I think we'll all be bloody shopping in charity shops. I'm going to be known as Man at Oxfam. I've got a terrible wardrobe, mate. Terrible wardrobe. Most of it, my wardrobe was full of t-shirts and shorts, basically, because I spent so much time in hot climates. I don't own a suit. I'm not the type of person who would wear a suit. Ugh. Trevor Gooden, hey mate, enjoyed a lovely speckled hen last week with my son while doing a steady Eddie marathon. Sounds good, mate. Greetings from Melbourne. Okay, well, good for you, Trevor. Anyway, I hope you're okay. Richard, Liverpool girls, £5 behind the bins out the back. Who's lost £5? Someone's, some Liverpool girls lost £5, has she? And she thinks she's lost it at the bins behind the back. I'm sure that's what you mean. A nomad overseas. Eddie, are you a fan of the brilliant series, The Boys in the Black Stuff? A fan of it. I was part of it, mate. That was my generation. That's why I left Liverpool. I couldn't see a future there. I could not see a future there in Liverpool at this time. I hear people nowadays saying Liverpool is a great place and all of that. It's always been a lovely city. It's always had great nightlife. It's always had fantastic architecture from the Liver buildings, Art Deco. It's had 2 cathedrals. But come on, you've got to be realistic, man. You cannot live off 2 cathedrals. You've got to have a job. And when I lived in Liverpool many, many years ago, southern England. I always felt that southern England was where all the work is. That's the place where you're always going to be in work if you're prepared to work. And yeah, I moved to I moved to southern England many years, about 30 years ago, and I've hardly ever been out of work since. So Liverpool. Don't get me wrong, was probably a great city, but it wasn't great in my generation. I'm realistic, man. And the Boys in the Black stuff. Boys in the Black stuff, fantastic. Some great lines in that. What was that one? Yossi Hughes is that confessional when he's hit rock bottom. He goes to the confession and he's crying his eyes out. And the father says, "What's the matter, son?" And Yossi Hughes says, "I'm desperate, father. I'm desperate." And the father says, "Please call me Dan." And Yossi Hughes says, "I'm desperate, Dan." Okay. Good line there. Okay, root potato. How about Birmingham? I hear it's the I've never been to Birmingham. It's the last part of the United Kingdom I've never been to. But what I do know about Birmingham, it's the only city where people who actually come from there will say that it's not a nice place. And they'll say it in other words, they'll use other phrases for it, but you know what I mean? I don't know, I can't comment, but maybe Birmingham is a good place. It might be a good city now. It may be a good city now. The Venice of the Midlands, okay? I don't know. So it's got a couple of canals then, has it? Let me see. Let's see. Who's this? Just what? Yeah. Who's this? Who's just supposed to? Robert Williamson. Just watch the White House conference. Vaccine beginning distribution in the US by mid-October. What about this vaccine? Is this someone comes up with a vaccine? Is this going to be the answer to all our prayers? It would be nice if it was, but I don't think. Well, I think it'll take years to actually find out whether this vaccine's any good. And it will, a lot of people simply won't take the vaccine. I think the only way around it is if you're going to, as far as travel is concerned, in the way other countries would do it, they would require a certificate of your vaccine. If you're one of those people who say, "Well, I'm not taking any vaccine," they can always say, "Well, yeah, well, in that case, you're not getting into our country." So we'll see about that anyway. Let's see. Okay, let's see. What is it? Oh, I'm not even going to pronounce your bloody name. I'm not even going to pronounce your name. Who's had the sex change up? Transjack Rogers, I was once a boy, now I'm a woman. Well, good luck. I'll raise a glass to you, mate. Woman's power, okay? So you once a boy, now you're a woman, okay? And now you stand in front of the full-length mirror every night and admiring yourself. That's probably what I'd do. Okay. Okay. What is it? Thanks for that donation. I'm going to read out your name. Eddie, could you get me a job so I can feed my kids, okay? The only plus side for me personally is that it's from early April, since I was almost stranded in Thailand, I've come back to the UK, and from the beginning of April, right to this present time, what's that, about 5.5 months, I've worked solely, I've worked every day. I mean, why the hell not? I mean, at least I can go out and work and earn money every day, which is nice to be able to do. So at least I'm not wasting time. I mean, what else am I going to do? I mean, England's boring. I don't want to go down to the pubs and where I'm the bloody bar. I may as well go to work and earn money. I go to work, I earn money so that I can travel during the winter time. Fine, terrific. Except I've gone to work, I've earned money, and am I going to travel? There's the big question. Well, at least I'm not going to go hungry this winter time. But I do have a great empathy for a sympathy for the people in third world countries who may well go hungry. So where we're going to go this year, anyway? I mean, we've talked enough about this 3-month visa. Let's just share with you fellas. Let's not get too excited or enthusiastic about it. I hope it's better than I think it is, but I just think it's small beer. I think it's small beer. I think it seemed pretty good to begin with, but I'm not so sure that it's any better than the Phuket deal that came out recently. So where's open? There's Mexico. I'm not so sure. I've been to Mexico. I went to Cancun and where else? Cancun and Playa del Carmen, Chichen Itza. Got bored with the country, went somewhere else. Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Belize. There's probably, maybe I could, get my traveller head back on and explore Mexico and really enjoy myself out there. We'll see about that. We'll see about that. As for the Dominican Republic, well, that seems to be open as well. There's such a limited amount of countries that we can actually go. As for the Dominican Republic, that seems to be open. But you know what? I've been watching videos on the Dominican Republic, and I don't know whether it's my TV. I have a laptop which I, plug into my TV, and I watch these videos on a big TV screen. And the more videos that I watch of Dominican Republic, the fatter those asses get. I mean, those girls in the Dominican Republic, they got such big asses. You know what I mean? Maybe it's my TV set that's playing up, but their asses look bigger and bigger with these videos. And these Dominican Republic girls, they all wear tight leggings to show off their curves, their big asses. They show them off. It's like as if they're proud of their big ass. Look at me. Look at me, honey. Ain't my big ass beautiful? Yeah. Well, no, not really. Not for me. But some people like that sort of stuff. Not for me. I like nice and petite and firm. Someone said it's my TV. Okay, could well be, mate. Could well be. Stay frosty. Edward Sweeney, save your money by not going to Latin countries. I've had some great experiences in Latin countries. Great experience. You go there for the sight, for the rainforest in Brazil, which I've done, and many, many other things. But, at this stage in my life now, I want to go to countries which I enjoy and can relax rather than countries which I find interesting. I've done all the interesting stuff. Now I want to relax and I want to chill out in a hot climate with cold beers and hot ladies, and that's what I want. That's what I want this winter time. That's what I want. Maybe you want that too. Listen, I've waffled on enough. I'm running out of all this stuff. Okay. Let's see. Gaza, Sweden. My wife left me and I can't get over it. Okay. Yeah, she sounds very sensible. Andrew Johnson, Colombia. I've been to Colombia. I went there. Colombia's a beautiful country and they're a really lovely race of people. Colombia is terrific. I travelled, I tell you what, my 6-month travelling adventure, I started off in Rio. I went deep south Brazil, and I love Brazil. Magnificent country. I went deep south. I crossed the border by bus. I took overnight buses to South America. Went down to Argentina, which I thought was a bit overrated. I actually thought it was a bit bland, really. But from Argentina, I went right the whole north of the South American continent. From Argentina, I went over into Bolivia, which is terrific. The most amazing landscape that I've come across. Absolute kaleidoscope of mountains and rickety buses going through the mountains. Absolutely fantastic, Bolivia. Then went into Peru, which is a wonderful country. I actually spent Christmas Day on top of Machu Picchu. Now that's pretty good. I've actually been to Machu Picchu. And in case anyone doesn't know this, the altitude is a big, big, big problem in those countries for many, many people. Bolivia and Peru, you have to sleep in a couple of big bottles of water. Besides, because your mouth gets dry as a bone. But a lot of people don't realize this. In case you don't know it, the main town that is close to Machu Picchu, and I don't mean Augusto Calientes, which is at the base of Machu Picchu, that's the closest town, but the main town that you will book the tour from is called Cusco, which is a lovely, charming town. Beautiful, lovely, lovely, really, really enjoyable town, Cusco. Very, very friendly place. But it's got a high altitude, Cusco. And, you know, a lot of people find that very, very oppressing. But you may think that, you know, you're in Cusco and you boot, you know, a tour of Machu Picchu, which will take place for a few days. And you may think, Jesus, after suffering the altitude of Cusco, I'm going to cope with going up Machu Picchu. And what you may not realize is that Machu Picchu, whatever it looks from the photographs, it's actually a lower altitude than Cusco. Cusco is about 3.7 kilometers above sea level, whereas Machu Picchu is 2.7 kilometers above sea level. I stayed in Cusco for quite a while, really enjoyed the place, but suffering from a bit of the altitude sickness. But then when I went to Machu Picchu, I thought it was fine. I was actually able to climb the mountain without a problem because it's actually a lower altitude. So there you go. So don't say that you don't get everything. You actually get a bit of you actually get a bit of information here on the Steady Eddie channel, and not just about, you know, brandy and whiskey and all that kind of stuff. Okay. Now I'm going to wrap this up very, very soon. Okay, we talked about this. This 3 month. It sounds great to begin with. Sounds absolutely wonderful. But let's hear the finer details. Personally, I think it sounds like a great idea, and I was excited when I first seen it, but it's not tangible. Let's hear the full details. I actually think the truth is in the numbers. You know, 1,200 people a month, and I don't think I can't see how they're going to get around this. I cannot see, with their policy of not inviting countries which have COVID, that they are going to invite Britain, America, and Australia. I can't really see it. I think we're going to be not invited, basically. So I wouldn't get too excited just yet. But, you know, never mind. Let's keep thinking positive. Have a little look at the chat there, okay? I'm going to wrap everything up right now. It's late at night. It's late at night. I'm going to have my late evening snack. My late evening snack. I wish I had pork pies, but I haven't got any. Okay. Here we go. Robert Williamson. Thank you, Robert. Okay. Thank you for everybody coming here tonight, putting up with me and my drunken rambling and all this kind of stuff. Thanks for the super chats. Let's hope there's some really, really positive news on the horizon. We'll see anyway, you know, but it's not looking positive right now. But let's hope for better things to come. I'll say good night. Thank you. God bless you all. Keep thinking positive, and I'll see you in the next live stream. Cheers.